All right, this is our last lesson in trigonometry, and this is where we're going to be solving problems with more than one right triangle. The first definition that we need to know, and the only one for this lesson, is the angle of depression, the angle between the horizontal through eye level and line of sight to a point below eye level. So it needs to be below the horizontal. Angle of inclination is above the horizontal because it's inclining. So in this triangle, we need to find the length of BC to the nearest tenth of a centimeter. So there are technically two right triangles in here, and we need to kind of figure out how we get here. We can't use angle A to calculate line segment BC because this whole thing is not a right triangle. So we have to kind of use reasoning. Like, it's not going to be useful to calculate AD. That's not going to tell us anything to help us with this triangle over here. So we're going to find line segment BD. That's going to give us the most help with the triangle that doesn't have enough information to calculate BC. So if we look at angle A, that is 26 degrees. Our hypotenuse is 22.9 centimeters. In this case, our opposite is BD. This is the one that we want. This is important. This is going to tell us right here. So if I have my hypotenuse and my opposite, I need to use sine. So we're going to say sine 26 is equal to BD over 22.9. We cross multiply. 22.9 sine of 26 is equal to BD. Plug that into our calculator exactly as it looks. 22.9 sine 26 is equal to 10.0387. I think we said to keep to 4 decimal places once upon a time. Okay, so this gives us some useful information now. 10.0387 centimeters. And we could keep that more exact if we wanted, but I think this will be just fine. Now what we need to do is we need to take this value and we need to calculate here. So if we look at angle C, which is equal to 49 degrees, our opposite is BD, which is also the same as 10.0387 centimeters. And we need to find BC, which is the hypotenuse in this case. So we're going to kind of reverse order this using sine. So sine, sine 49 is equal to 10.0387 all divided by BC, the hypotenuse. We're going to cross multiply, or if you remember, we're just going to slide over here. So this is BC is equal to 10.0387 all divided by sine 49. If you kept the value in your calculator, you can just go divide answer, sine 49, close your brackets, and you get 13.3 centimeters. And that tells us this guy. Whoops. That wasn't the color I wanted. That tells us here, which means that we've answered the question. And you can label it in here if you need to. And if you got like 13.2 or 13.1, that's fine, because I can see where your accuracy rounding errors are. Here's another example. We have that Jason is lying on the ground midway between two trees, 100 meters apart. That means M right here is Jason. The angles of elevation, top of the trees, are 13 degrees and 18 degrees. How much taller is one tree than the other? Give the answer to the nearest tenth of a meter. So this is 100 meters total, which means each side here is only 50. So we can redraw these triangles if we wanted, but we're trying to find tree 1. So if angle M is equal to 13 degrees, and I need to find, what do I have here? I have my adjacent, that is equal to 50, and I need to find my opposite, which is tree 1. Adjacent, opposite, I'm going to use tangent. tan of 13 is equal to opposite over adjacent, so tree 1 over 50, which gives me 50 tan 13 is equal to tree 1. Plug that into your calculator. Tenth of a meter, we get 11.5 meters is equal to tree 1. Okay, that tells us one height. That gives us here, tree 1, tree 1. Let's find tree 2. So, tree 2, looking at this, we have angle 18. Yep. Our adjacent is 50 again. And our opposite is tree 2. We're going to use tangent again. You're going to use tangent a lot. So tangent is 18 degrees is equal to tree 2 over adjacent. So 50 tan 18 is equal to tree 2. This gives us, to the nearest tenth of a meter, 16.2 meters is equal to tree 2. So that tells us this. But that doesn't answer the question. The question asks, how much taller is one tree than the other? So 16.2 minus 11.5 gives us 4.7 meters. So you say tree 2 is taller by 4.7 meters. And that answers our last question here. You don't have to highlight your work. I just thought it's nice to color code and understand what's going on. Next one. For a small plane V, the angle of depression of a sailboat is 21 degrees. This goes here. The angle of depression of a ferry on the other side is 52 degrees. It can't go in here. It needs to go out here. The plane is flying at an altitude, height, of 1,650 meters. How far apart are the boats to the nearest meter? So, what am I looking for? How far apart are the boats? I'm trying to find this total length here. Now, I don't have any angles inside these triangles except for this 1,650. If you remember your transversal planes geometry, you will remember that this is 21 degrees. The other way that you can do this is that this whole thing should equal 90. So 21 minus 90, or 90 minus 21, sorry, is 69 degrees here. And this whole thing, I gotta make sure my line, there we go, should also equal 90, because the whole line is 180. 90 minus 52 gives us 38. Now what we can do with that is we could have found that this was 21 degrees from all triangles equaling 180, or we just know from some prior knowledge that these are alternate exterior angles, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I don't remember. But these guys should be the same. So now we need to start finding some information. We have our angle U, which is equal to 21 degrees. The other measure that we have here is we have its opposite is equal to 1,650. It doesn't make sense to calculate the hypotenuse. It's not going to tell us anything. We need to find what ux is here. So we're going to go adjacent is equal to ux, making sure that we know that it's not going to get the whole value, just this partial value, because we're only focusing on this little right triangle. So we're going to use tangent. Tangent 21 is equal to opposite over adjacent. We're going to swap places here. This will be ux is equal to 1,650 over tan 21. Plug that into your calculator. Tan 21. And we get 4,000 to the nearest meter 298 meters. That tells us this right here. This doesn't answer the question yet. We need to find what this value is. So let's start. Let's look at angle W is equal to 52 degrees. Its opposite is 1,650, and its adjacent is the one that we're looking for. That's XW. So we're going to do tangent again. I'm going to kind of quick step this. This is XW is equal to 1,650 all divided by tan 52. Plug that into your calculator, you get 1,289 meters. And that goes here. And we add these guys together. Oops, 98, not 89. Which gives us 5,587 meters. So we say the boats are 5,587 meters apart. Okay. Last example, a surveyor stands on the window of a 9th floor of an office tower. He measures the angles of elevation and depression at the top and the base of a taller building. The surveyor sketches the plan of his measurements, determine the height of the taller building to the nearest tenth of a meter. So, first things first, this 39 meters, this is also 39 meters, this distance, which is critical to know. So if we look at angle 42, we have an opposite. Does it make sense to find this hypotenuse? Not really. It's not really going to tell us anything. More often than not, when you're dealing with triangles within triangles, you're trying to find the one that the sides share. So in this case, we're looking for its adjacent. Again, this is going to be tangent. We're going to swap these guys. (39 divided by tan 42) gives us 43.3139. That many. Because after that, it's just a bunch of 8s. Now if we look at angle 31 degrees, our opposite is what we are looking for, because that's going to tell us the rest of the height here. And our adjacent was that value that we just calculated, that 43.3139. So let's set this up. Tan 31 opposite over adjacent. We're going to cross multiply, so this will be 43.3139 times tan 31 is equal to x. If you left that value in your calculator, just hit multiply. Tan 31, this will be really precise, and we'll get 26.0 meters is equal to x. So that tells us right here. So our total height of the building is 39 meters plus 26.0 meters to give us a grand total of 65 meters. You could write a sentence for this one. You don't have to. It's not technically asking a question anywhere. It's just telling you to do a thing. If you do write a sentence, great. If you don't, still great. If you need any help, please let me know.